Hi everyone, it's Harrison. Welcome to the TechNet show.
It's the TechNet show. Yeah.
Waiting for that one to come up.
Someday we'll get an intro.
Anyway, Jared, how are you doing?
I've been doing alright. Holding up, I think. I don't know. How about you? How are things?
Pretty good. Let's just get on with this then.
On to the news. The
Yeah,
tech
our first bit of
news.
news.
Sorry.
Our first bit of news is Xbox Series X. It leaked with a new price. First of all, we know it exists now for sure. We've had rumors, we've had leaks like from packaging or whatever, but now we finally know it's here. Well, not here, but it's coming
It exists.
on November 10th. Yes, for $300, which is actually not that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Not gonna lie. Looking like some pretty good stuff.
It's gonna start at 300, but it's only gonna have about The Verge says that's gonna be about 4 teraflops of GPU performance, which is not even as much as the One X, right, the current generation system. But I think that's gonna be fine because I'm assuming that this is only going to be for 1080p gaming. So yeah, we're gonna see how this goes, and it's still going to be a much more powerful system because of the new CPU inside of it.
Yeah. Just because it has less teraflops does not mean it's all in all weaker console. It's got good stuff going for it.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to it because, well, I think that they're saying that the Series X is supposed to be going for about 500, and that's a good chunk of money. But then again, the new graphics cards that are coming out from Nvidia that are gonna be just as much as a Series X. Well, I mean, you could put your money somewhere.
Yeah. You want the whole gaming package or a part of a gaming package? I guess it's all to each their own. Plus, you're part of a gaming package. You can chuck all your RGB at it if you want. So, that's always fun.
Yeah. I really think that's nice that Microsoft is trying to... I think that this is a very pro-consumer move in which they're trying to give consumers more options. I would be very surprised if the amount of money that they're making off of this, I really doubt that's any more than a tiny percentage. Their margins must be very low on these things. It's all about the games, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
all about them
developers.
Exactly. Clearly. I mean,
if only Microsoft could get developers for the Microsoft Store.
All right. What Microsoft Store? No.
What's a Microsoft Store? Why? What's a Windows Phone?
What's a Windows Phone? That was an interesting time in our
It was a very interesting time. I really liked Windows Phones though. I really wish that they got those developers that they were really asking for.
Yeah. Why does it feel like developers seem to be Microsoft's like Achilles heel? Why does no one want to play with Microsoft?
It's weird because Microsoft has a very open system. Well, most of the time.
True.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't completely understand why developers try to avoid it. But that actually leads us on to our next topic. We're skipping one topic, Jared, just for the record.
Okay.
Well,
You mean
we're
it's
not
always
skipping
been
it?
as
We're going to
planned.
go back to it. So,
It's just as planned.
yeah, just as planned. Didn't really think that we were going to be talking about developers, but here we are. Well, we always were going to talk about developers, but not for Microsoft. So, let's talk about Fortnite again. Well, not again. This is the first time we're talking about it on this channel, but, well,
Yeah, it might as well feel like we're talking about it again because the whole Fortnite and Apple thing has pretty much consumed the tech space for quite a couple of weeks. It's been a very exciting legal battle.
Yeah. So the thing about this is that Epic Games, well, according to Business Insider, Epic Games says Fortnite users on iPhone has plummeted to 60%. And that is a lot of users lost. And another statistic is that out of 350 million registered users total, as in like actual Fortnite players, including other, systems and whatnot, more than 116 million are iOS users, equating a third. A third of your user base. That's a lot of people.
That is. It's crazy to think that iOS made up a third when Fortnite's available on literally everything in existence. As they've listed, Android, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, PCs. Apparently, they were booted from macOS too, which I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. But
yeah, well, who's playing on macOS anyway? I will wait for the bad comments on that one. I realize that this might come with a public apology later, but well, I've always been one of those people that I haven't been really pro PC Master Race, but I have been a PC gamer and a console gamer in the past, and I hate to say this, but I've been one of those people that in the past I thought that mobile gaming really wasn't there, but looking at the games that's coming out on mobile now, I feel like it's getting much better, especially with, well, things like XCloud and other game streaming services coming out. I'm sorry, it's called Xbox Game Pass now, Ultimate, right?
I believe so. I can't remember if the tech name for it was XCloud, and then they just lumped it together with their Ultimate Game Pass.
Yeah, I think that XCloud was basically their, internal naming structure, just like how Xbox One X was Project Scorpio.
No, yeah.
So, yeah, that's another thing that Apple has banned.
No, yeah. Speaking of which, going full
speaking
circle.
of Apple banning stuff, we'll get back to the xCloud later or whatever. The next story is actually not really a next story, but another thing that I feel like the Epic has kind of pushed off like this developer complaint. Like a lot of the developers are starting to speak out because of what Epic's doing, and I think that's a very good thing.
No, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so Japanese developers are starting to criticize Apple's App Store policies and approval process. So the thing is that there's two parts of the story. Like, a lot of these big companies are complaining about the 30% cut. A lot of people are saying, like, why are these billion-dollar companies caring about a 30% cut? 30% of $1 billion is $30 million. So, it's actually not 30 million. I did that wrong. I'm sorry. It's actually 300 million.
Money right
That
there.
is a lot of money. And if you're one of those people out there that says, chump change, more power to you. You're ballin'.
Ballin'.
But, yeah, so the other side of the story is that Apple's a gatekeeper for these apps. It means that these apps are very curated, and there's a certain bar of quality set to all these apps. There are some apps out there that I don't think that meet the quality bar, but for some reason Apple let it go anyway. I am thinking about some very, very specific production apps right now, like live production apps, which is out the window now, but, well, anyway. So, Apple doesn't really have a good way to. So Apple can basically kick your app off the App Store whenever it wants for whatever reason it wants. And their approvals process, from what I've heard, is a very difficult thing to go through. Yeah, and according to Mac Rumors, quoting them, it says Japanese developers have also been critical of the way Apple interprets what is appropriate content and say it often changes policies without advance notice. Policies are difficult to work around. I mean, if you have an application that is perfectly normal and then Apple just decides to change the rules on you, and because of that, this application that you probably spent thousands of dollars and a lot of time working on just goes out the window because Apple decides to say, no, your app's not good anymore. I feel like that's a very big jerk move, because I think, Jared, you have a lot more to say about this, but development isn't easy.
I'll deny that. Just general, like, programming in general is just, you already have, like, so much to worry about and just figuring out, well, especially, like, I know one part, just being on the front end, the user interface stuff, making sure everything, for one, works. For two, yeah. Just making everything, like, cohesive and everything, like, makes sense. The controls actually, controls and whatnot make sense. And then, yeah, going into the back end and making sure, like, all the things that you need it to do actually does what it needs to do. So it's already hard enough to, get into the actual development of it. And then all of a sudden to find out that your whole, like, what was it? Maybe like years of work, or years of work that you've put into, like, this one application, you submit to the App Store, and maybe at some point everything's fine, everything's dandy, but then at some point something in the App Store policy changes. Maybe it's because maybe there's a small percent chance that it was actually something that they've overlooked and now they want to crack down. Maybe it has to do with something that they're either maybe it's something that they've actually developed in-house, allegedly. But nonetheless, it's kind of, like, heartbreaking to kind of, like, go through, like, all this work just to find out that either A, you're not able to make it because you don't meet Apple's own standards, or B, you were there, but at some point Apple standards just change potentially out of the blue, and you're just sitting there, like, and now you're just kicked off the App Store. That's it.
Yeah,
it's done.
So I mean, it's easy to say that, oh, these big companies, they have the money to do this type of thing, but the reality is that it's really the small companies that they're hurting. I mean, there's not a lot of companies out there that can spend this much money developing an app and just saying, well, I mean, it didn't work out, let's move on. These companies need these applications to work out to stay afloat, or else they're not going to make it and they're going to go bankrupt, especially in a time like this. So, I mean, I feel like these policies, yes, it's important to keep a certain quality standard on the App Store because, people want that quality, but I think that they need to find a better way of regulating applications. And at the same time, there's who's really regulating Apple and which apps they decide to let on their App Store and which apps aren't allowed on the App Store. Like, I brought up Project XCloud earlier from Microsoft, and Apple banned that one. I mean, if you really... The reasoning they gave is because they can't approve every single application on there. But the reality is they probably could. Game Pass Ultimate only has a few hundred games on it, compared to the few million of applications on the App Store. I'm pretty sure that Apple could probably go through every single one of the games on Game Pass and be like, okay, this one's good. This one's good. I don't like this one, so I'm sure that they could have worked it out with Microsoft and just, deciding which games is available and which games aren't, but they didn't do it. So I feel like it's a way that they're just trying to kick something out before it becomes big, which I feel like might be hurting the industry in the long run. Any thoughts, Jared?
No, yeah. It is a little suspicious, especially since, well, they have their own, they have their own kind of similar, gaming platform in, was it the Apple Arcade, was it?
Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it is a little suspicious. That, and it doesn't help that, I get it if it was just some, random, third party who just kind of wants to, suddenly just, open the floodgates with hundreds of games of, for some reason they have, thousands of games that no one's ever heard of and just want to, make a store for it inside.
Yeah.
I guess I can kind of see that being sketchy, but I mean, this is
we're talking about Halo here.
I think even if Apple's not able to hold off review everything for one reason or another, I have enough faith that Microsoft would care enough about their own XCloud service to keep tabs on that.
I mean, if Apple tells me that Halo Master Chief Collection, that Forza Horizon 4, Gears of War 5 does not reach their quality standards, where the heck are their quality standards?
What is this standard? Where is this bar? And how high is it?
How far are they?
Oh,
I would not want to be in a world where they say Gears of War, Halo, Forza Horizon aren't good enough. They're not good enough games. They're terrible games.
They don't meet our standard.
Yeah, they're garbage. I love those games.
Nah.
I really wish I could play it on my iPhone. But no, I can't. Well, we're back after some technical difficulties. Some things happen. Anyway, back to this. Games like Forza Horizon and the Halo Master Chief Collection are very high quality games, and if you guys have played it, which, well, if you're watching this video, you probably have at least seen or heard of them.
Probably even see us play it.
I mean,
Quick Start Gaming, like and subscribe.
Oh yeah, like and subscribe to that one. But yeah, they're very high quality games. Forza Horizon, oh my gosh, the visuals are breathtaking.
It is amazing.
It is very amazing. And Halo MCC, the remaster of old games like the Halo, original Halo, and Halo 2, great stuff. And Halo 3 looks okay. Halo 4 looked good.
Oh yeah.
And Reach and everything like that. I mean, they're all really great games, and I feel like they're better than the games that Apple offers, and I think that's why they don't want to put that on their app store.
Because if you're trying to, sway people to one thing, but then here comes this, slightly big name with these slightly big titles coming along and just, making everything available in the app store. You're fighting an uphill battle in your own system. That's it's fair policy, but it's I could feel the salt on that one. I could feel the concern.
Yeah, I mean, it's concerning when a company has that much power, because if you can crush competitors before they become big, that's dangerous, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And I feel like the US has been really sitting on, well, I mean, right now that there's a lot of antitrust cases going on for everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like we do need some sort of regulation in this department. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to say it's unfair to that Apple's would be required to, accept applications that might hurt their business, but at the same time, this is a device that everyone uses. They own 50% of the US market, and that's huge.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that Google's innocent in this, by the way. I'm also gonna include Google on this one, although they're better. They're better, but they're not innocent.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they get like an antitrust case on them like every like 5 minutes. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, and there's another bad thing about Apple's philosophy. Let's go into our next topic on this one. So,
Okay.
I mean, well, it's not even a topic. I mean, this is something that happened a while ago, like a few weeks ago. So, Apple rejected a Facebook app that told their users that Apple took 30% of the purchase. So, basically, what happened is that Facebook released a feature that allowed people to buy tickets for like virtual events. And Facebook doesn't take a cut from that ticket. So the credit card processing fee is taken out, but then everything else goes to the host of the event on every platform except for iOS. In iOS, not Fortnite, Facebook asked Apple to waive the fee for the specific scenario. Apple said no, and then Facebook basically tried to add this blurb in saying that Apple takes 30% of this purchase, and Apple said that that's irrelevant information.
it's a very interesting time, really, when, well, for one, Facebook wants to be the more transparent one, and two, I'm actually willing to side a bit more on Facebook on this one. It's not very often, especially as of recent, but
Yeah.
Facebook is actually taking a pretty has been trying to make some pretty good stances on this particular moment.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that people need to know that Apple takes 30% cut of things, because I think that the reason why Apple has been able to do this is because people don't know. I mean, sure, the people in the tech community like you and I know this stuff. I mean, but there's a lot of people out there that don't know.
No, yeah.
I mean, 30% is a lot of money. It's a lot of money for big companies, and it's even more money for small companies. I mean, 30% of a small company's revenue could mean layoffs. That could be a few workers' incomes right there. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that I think that, I mean, everyone takes 30%, and I think that should be changed across the board. So, I mean, it's 30% is a lot to swallow for companies that don't really make too much income. It's a lot to swallow for companies that make massive amounts of income.
No, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, all the stores do it. Google, Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, they all do it. And I think that just should be changed. Yeah, let's go to a happier topic. Well, let's not go to a happier topic yet. So there's more speculation of another Apple story. So this comes from Mac Rumors. So there's more speculation on Apple search engine. So there's an Apple bot that's crawling through the web. So so a web crawler is basically like what things like Google, Bing, or whatever uses to figure out information for their search engine. Jared, I think that you would know a bit more technical aspects of that, wouldn't you?
Sorry,
No.
I can't really help you on that one. This is not an area that I particularly studied in. I'll be honest
And that's
with
what
you.
the computer engineer says. Okay, but yeah, there's been a web crawler that's been crawling around the internet that's from Apple. So that could point to maybe Apple making a search engine, but it's more likely that they're just trying to improve their spotlight searches. But who knows? Maybe Apple might come up with another search engine, but I don't know how they're going to monetize it. I mean, search engines are expensive to maintain.
Nah, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with that.
And then there's the aspect of privacy. Because, Apple's always been privacy first. Yes, there's things like DuckDuckGo, but we both know that Google is so much better at finding information.
That is very true.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that one. But yeah, I believe that the reason for that big difference in quality is because of the amount of information that Google collects. And since Google's collecting so much information, how are any other privacy-centric search engines going to be able to thrive in such an environment? I hate to say this, but Apple's not the most private company out there. They do collect a lot of information, which is one of the biggest reasons why their Maps applications has gotten so much better over the years. They do collect a good amount of information. Not as much as Google, but your information is still being collected. Don't get me wrong about that. It would be cool if they make a new search engine, but it's probably just for Siri.
Probably.
Yeah.
I won't deny it.
Why don't you grab the next topic? Or the last topic? The happy news.
The happy news. The non-Apple related news.
Yes.
Or Microsoft. Or Google, or kind of Google.
Well,
or
it's Google.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about, what is it? The release of the Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC UFC NFL phone with a 120 hertz screen. I mean, it's an LCD screen, but it's a 120 hertz screen, 1080p.
But the best part?
Snapdragon 732 processor, which is better than a 4A. It has LTE support. It has options for 64 gigabytes and 128 gigabytes of storage. And there's also a micro SD card slot. Throwing it out there.
You're forgetting a very important fact.
Don't worry, I'm getting to it.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. It's got a 64 megapixel Sony IMX682 primary sensor.
Okay,
camera,
speaking of, let's stop the train for a moment here. What the heck is with Sony and their stupid naming scheme?
Yeah, I don't know what goes on in Sony's naming schemes. there's I don't even know where to begin in trying to figure out what that even means.
I don't know either. But yeah, go on. Keep going.
So moving beyond Sony's IMAX, I don't know, thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if it meant that.
Could be. This phone also supports a 13 megapixel ultrawide, has a 2 megapixel sensor for its macro, has a 20 megapixel hole punch selfie camera, a whopping 5160 milliamp hour battery, fast charging through USB-C, 33 watts, stereo speakers, headphone jack, NFC, because, I mean, is it really a phone without NFC?
I don't know. Well, yeah, because...
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
No. Go ahead.
Go on.
No.
Say
Okay.
say it. Just go on.
All right. All in all of this phone for a whopping $235.
Or 199 euros.
Because it's only available in Europe.
Which is saddening. I would like a phone like this. I mean, sure, it's not the best phone out there. The specs aren't flagship. But oh my gosh, this is a $200 phone. With these specs, this is a $200 phone that you would not mind using.
Oh yeah. This is an absolute beast of a $235 phone.
Obviously, if you're giving a choice between like a Galaxy, iPhone, or whatever, and versus this, and go with that. But
Oh, yeah.
well,
If money's
if you're just
not-
like looking for a phone, $200, that's I wouldn't say that 200 something dollars is just something that you could throw away, but it's so much easier to swallow than $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
I think that this phone just shows you that technology has advanced to the point where we can make very good stuff for very cheap.
That's very true.
And I think that's a good thing. I really like this. I mean, sure, it doesn't have 5G, only 6 gigabytes of RAM, but hey, it's a phone that you can use.
Oh, yeah. It's a solid phone. It's still got... Was it? I mean, its processor is better than the Pixel 4a, which is still was that a little over 100. Is it more than $100 more?
It's I think I don't remember.
Is it $499? I feel like the Pixel 4a was $499.
Yeah. Let's see, $349.
Okay, so it's a little under $100 more for.
Sure, the Pixel's gonna have a better camera. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
That's kind of what they're
But
known for.
this phone has the better,
Everything else.
what's it called again? Oh, I wouldn't say everything else. 120 hertz screen is arguable because the Pixel has an OLED. So do you want the faster refresh rate or do you want the better looking colors?
That's true.
That's really up to your decision. And then there's of course, if the camera is important to you, then you would go with the Pixel.
No, yeah.
But
Also, if you're in
this is
America, you don't have a
$100
choice. But
oh yeah, there's that too. America.
America.
But yeah, this is an amazing phone. Unfortunately, I really wish that we had phones like this in the United States. I mean, all these really cool phones are mid-range phones. I feel like the flagships are starting to slow down. Like, there's the foldable phones. Those are really cool, but like the regular smartphones, they're getting kind of repetitive at this point.
That is true.
So at this point, like, a $200 smartphone excites me because it's so good.
No, yeah. It hits all.
So-
It's good in all the right areas.
Yeah, I mean, it excites me. That's why the iPhone SE excited me. That's why the Pixel 4a excited me. That's why this one excites me. So I really can't wait to see what else like these other companies are going to have in this price range of like, $300, $200 price range. So yeah, really exciting things coming around now.
Yeah.
But
Getting good
I think
stuff.
I think that's the last topic we have for today. So yeah. Hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell. Anything else?
No, not really.
No? Yeah, well,
It's all the points.
you heard that.
We get them.
Well, hope you guys like this. I guess we'll talk to you and the guys in the next one. Bye for now.
See ya.